Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Now, there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're going to get straight to it. So, apparently California is finally rising up. Californians are not taking the shit no more. What I mean by this is that we are seeing Californians strike back against the whole trans ideology and, them going after the kids. Because they're finally seeing the reality of what's been going on in that trans bill on, how they're going to take away your kids. Well, it seems like the people are finally uniting against us as well. We have this here to where, people in LA, of all things, Los Angeles, California, it says stop coming after our kids. And a hefty number to boot as well. Well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, take a look. And as you can see there, that is a hefty amount of people, I would say, in LA protesting to leave their kids alone. It's almost like the normal American, the average American, doesn't want their kids to be diddled with or messed with or have the government have full reign over them. It's almost like we just want our kids to be left alone. But unfortunately, people like in Canada and other countries in the world, even ours, doesn't seem to be getting this. Or certain states don't seem to be getting this. So we have to protest to make our voices be heard. But make this no mistake. Of course, the far left, the child grabbers, if you will, are going to come out and do woodwork. They're going to come out and protest. Unfortunately, we are seeing a great number of small density of people. It's a very small amount. It's almost like the minority is coming out and the majority is taking hold. It's like, why are we listening to a minority of whack job nut jobs of pretty much just speaking out when the majority is really just pushing back in a great fold? Take a look.
And this violence and this suppression is just a testament to the fact that we are moving closer to liberation. And when we're all liberated, we'll be free. Our ability to express our gender is not an infringement on anybody.
No, I know.
So protect our kids. Protect all of our kids.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but this over here seems significantly more than this over here. So it's almost like we're dealing with other issues. See, I think the minority is trying to speak out and trying to control us and take our kids, while the majority are not. And by the way, if you're advocating for, what was that again? Oh yeah, that's right. Protect our kids, then what are you really saying for? Because I think the other side is saying the same thing. Except there's two different things that we're advocating for. You're trying to protect the kids and have their own transgender identity, which is almost bloody impossible because they're children and they can't really decide for themselves what they want to do until much later in life. And we're just saying, just leave our kids alone, don't indoctrinate them, don't bring them into any of your stupid social idiocy, and then let them be kids, and that's pretty much what we're saying. But of course, by all means, when we speak up about these things, when we take out a book that you personally have in your school libraries and the places that you hold great factor in, you decide to arrest us. It's almost like you're trying to silence the majority of people so that we can get what you want. That's a little weird, isn't it?
Mr. C, please continue, sir.
On page 1, okay. Who wants my hot wiener? Oh yeah, baby.
Mr. C, thank you, sir.
We're talking about a hot dog here. It's a hot dog. Page 2. Family has a bad day. Dad is angry. These are some unfortunate...
Hey, don't touch him. He didn't break the law.
This is an attack on family. Page 3.
Hey, he didn't break the law.
Whose videos are picking up so?
Hey, he's not breaking the law.
Hey, easy now. Easy.
Hey.
Easy.
Hey.
Take your time.
Unconstitutional.
that's really weird. It's like, for someone on reason, we were speaking out against some of the things that you're having in schools, and we don't want that filth, that garbage in our schools, and we get pushed out. We're forced out of the school. We don't get a voice. So you guys are allowed to have a voice, but we're not. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense there, Captain, of all of us, right? Oh, and by the way, we have this here from the Great UTLA, which is from Anthony Cambosa, which is, should put a screen cap here for, the Great UTLA, and it says, today's homophobic protest in Los Angeles was an attempt to intimidate and scare the alphabet community. It won't work. We are going to stand shoulder to shoulder with our queer and trans siblings in the classrooms, at the school board, and on the streets. Right. So, what you're saying is you still want to indoctrinate the kids. We're just saying leave our kids alone, don't put that crap in there, and then, of course, you are wanting to do so. It continues to go on here that says the alphabet educators, students, and families deserve to be safe and protected in our schools. They deserve to be celebrated and uplifted in our classrooms. They deserve to see themselves reflected in their curriculum. Nothing will ever change the fact that our alphabet siblings belong and are welcome everywhere. 35,000 plus public school educators of UTLA condemn any and all efforts to strip the alphabet community of their rights and protections. The rally today in front of City Hall and LSUC is just that, an effort to scare and intimidate our weirdos and weird siblings. We won't let anyone come after the alphabet community. We will not be intimidated by their heinous attempts to intimidate and dox the alphabet individuals and their educator allies. They continue to say the far-right movement to throw a homophobic rally in front of a school board meeting under the banner of parental rights, an insult to parents across LA. Right, so all those parents, by the way, which are apparently far-right, let's just say they're far-right, yes, they're the far-right people and they're homophobic. So what you're saying here is that when we're advocating for you to leave kids alone and to not trying to indoctrinate them, not trying to do this, it's a far-right movement, and we're also homophobic. Right. Let that sink in for a second. So when we say leave kids alone, let's just put that out there. Just saying leave kids alone in a broad spectrum. And, whether we want to say it comes to violence, physical abuse, sexual abuse, or any of that, let's just put that out there. Just leave kids alone. And then you put that out there to a normal person and it says, oh, don't, and you put that out to a normal person, they read that, like, okay, that makes sense. But then you say, oh, we're going to go out there and say, oh, that's homophobic, and saying, oh, parental rights is an insult, you're not going to garner the majority of people there. You're going to have some major pushback. You're going to have some issues here. And this is one of the big things Vivek is actually fighting against. To relieve the United Teachers Union, remove all these unions, and fix these problems. They also go on to say that thousands of parents go above and beyond to care for their queer and trans children. Many parents in our district are members of the alphabet community themselves. Parental involvement is cherished and appreciated at our schools. The fascist movement in the city is not fighting for any rights, just the opposite. Right. Because they just don't want their children to be touched. That's pretty much it. They just want you guys to leave the children alone. That's it. So, we have a little bit more to expound on this. See, the 3 people were arrested outside a California school board meeting after fights between pro and LGBTQ and alphabet protesters. Of course, this is what happened on June 7th. I did a video on this. So, there's that's been going on here, and let me be honest with you. This happened really not too long ago, and it didn't seem the Californians were very happy here. And then we have this woman arrested over punched her speech at London Trans Pride. Because, you guys are so non-violent that you decide to punch other women for speaking against trans people or just your trans activity in general. So, who's the more violent ones here? You guys or us just trying to move away from this issue, just trying to make sure women have rights in some type of regard, and trying to just keep it away from kids. I think it's been quite obvious here on who's the villain here and who is not, and I don't think it's the people trying to say leave the kids alone. I think there's something more nefarious going on here. I don't think the LGBTQ or the alphabet community is going to be lasting very much longer in the coming year or so, because it seems a lot more people are pushing back. Even the very far left or the progressive or blue states like California, the people are coming out of the woodworks. And it's in LA, the central hub of the Democratic people. So if you're having those people come out, it ain't looking too good for your people. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, as always, take care.